The Galactic Academy's combat training hall fell silent. Instructor Zekthor, a towering Vraxian with 4 arms and chitinous armor plating, stood at the center of the amphitheater. His compound eyes scanned the assembled cadets, representatives from 47 different species, each the best their world had to offer. Today, Zekthor announced, his translator converting his clicks and hisses into standard galactic, we discuss survival tactics, specifically disabling apex predators. Lisa Chen sat in the 3rd row, her datapad balanced on her knee. Beside her, James Rodriguez leaned back in his seat, arms crossed. They were the only 2 humans in a class of 300, part of Earth's first delegation to the prestigious academy since humanity had been contacted 3 cycles ago. Consider this scenario, Zekthor continued, manipulating a holographic display. A massive creature materialized above him, all fangs, claws, and corded muscle. A Krell hunter, 2 metric tons, capable of generating 8,000 newtons of bite force. You are unarmed. List 3 ways to disable it. Tentacles, claws, and appendages of various descriptions shot up across the amphitheater. Zekthor pointed to a Quilarian student, whose crystalline body refracted the overhead lights. Deploy bioluminescent disorientation, flee to water where their respiratory systems fail, or climb to heights exceeding their jump capability, the student chimed, their voice like wind through crystal caves. Adequate, Zekthor acknowledged. You, Talessa? The reptilian cadet stood, her scales shifting to a confident orange. Use pheromone masking to become invisible to their senses. Construct a pitfall trap using available materials, or signal for aerial extraction. Acceptable. Zekthor's mandibles clicked with approval. He surveyed the room again, his gaze landing on the human section. You, the male human. James, correct? Your species recently survived a planetary predator extinction event. Enlighten us. James straightened, meeting the instructor's multifaceted stare. Lisa recognized the slight smile tugging at her friend's lips, the one that usually preceded something memorable. Before I answer, Sir, I need clarification, James said, his voice carrying across the hall. Are we disabling the predator temporarily or forever? The amphitheater erupted in confused chatter. Zekthor's translator seemed to pause, recalibrating. His mandibles twitched in what might have been confusion. Clarify your question, Cadet Rodriguez. James stood, and Lisa noticed every alien eye in the room tracking him. Well, sir, the methods differ significantly. Temporary disable, maybe we're talking tranquilizers, nerve strikes, sensory overload. Things that drop it for a bit. He paused, that smile widening slightly. Forever means we're talking about killing it. The word hung in the air. Lisa watched as several cadets recoiled. The Quilarian's crystalline structure actually dimmed. Apaxian in the front row's translator emitted a shocked trill. Zekthor's forearms crossed in a complex pattern that his species used to denote deep consideration. Cadet Rodriguez, the question pertains to disabling. The Galactic Accord strictly prohibits lethal force except in sanctioned military operations. Surely your species understands. Respectfully, sir, Lisa interrupted, rising to stand beside James. She'd seen where this was going. On Earth, when something is actively trying to kill you, the distinction between disable and eliminate becomes academic pretty fast. The Accord exists for a reason. Cadet Chen, Zekthor replied, his tone hardening. Violence begets violence. The 73-member species of the Galactic Federation have evolved beyond such primitive responses. James exchanged a glance with Lisa. She gave him a slight nod. They'd had this conversation before with other instructors, other cadets. Humanity's approach to survival was apparently unusual. Permission to demonstrate 3 methods, sir, James asked. For the original question. Zekthor's hologram shifted, the Krell hunter looming larger. Proceed. Method 1. Temporary, James began, his combat training kicking in. Target the eyes. Most predators rely heavily on vision. Dirt, chemicals, even bright light. Blind it, you buy time to escape. Method 2, also temporary. Aim for joints. Knees, elbows, whatever the species has. Hyperextend them. Predator goes down, mobility compromised. Several cadets were taking notes now, their initial horror giving way to grudging interest. And method 3? Zekthor prompted. James's expression went flat, professional. If it's me or the predator, sir, I go for the throat. Crush the windpipe. Sever the carotid if it has one. Failing that, eyes, then drive through to the brain. Rocks, sticks, bare hands, doesn't matter. On Earth, we learned early that sometimes the only way to stop a predator is to become one. The amphitheater exploded. Cadets were standing, their translators creating a cacophony of dismay, shock, and, Lisa noted with interest, a few murmurs of respect. Silence. Zekthor's voice cut through the chaos. He stared at James for a long moment. Your species fought a war with itself that claimed billions. You hunt for sport. You've driven countless species to extinction on your own world. His compound eyes seemed to bore into James. And yet you survived when many others would have perished. Yes, sir, James replied simply. Zekthor manipulated the hologram again. The Krell hunter vanished, replaced by combat statistics. The Galactic Federation has existed for 12,000 cycles. In that time we have achieved peace through understanding, through evolution beyond base instincts. He paused. Yet our survival rate in uncontrolled hostile environments remains at 37%. Do you know humanity's rate, based on your limited exploratory missions? Lisa answered. 92%, sir. 92%, Zekthor repeated. Because when a human encounters a predator, they don't just think about disabling it. They think about surviving it by any means necessary. The instructor's forearms gestured to encompass the entire class. Let this be your lesson today, cadets. The humans are uncomfortable. They speak of violence with an ease that unsettles us, but they speak from a world that tried to kill them every day for millions of cycles, and they're still here. He turned back to James and Lisa. Perhaps there is something to learn from discomfort. As the class dismissed, a Quillarian cadet approached Lisa hesitantly. Is it true? Their crystalline voice asked quietly. Would you really kill a predator with your bare hands? Lisa thought about Earth, about sharks and bears, about snakes and big cats, about the countless ways her homeworld had tried to kill her ancestors. She thought about humanity clawing its way to the top of the food chain not through armor or venom, but through stubbornness and adaptability. If I had to, she replied honestly, in a heartbeat. That's what it means to be human. We don't just survive, we refuse to be prey. The Quillarian dimmed further, processing this. Then slowly they began to glow brighter. Teach me, they said. James grinned. Now we're talking. As they walked toward the practice ranges, Lisa couldn't help but smile. The galaxy was learning what it meant when humans said survival of the fittest. They were learning that sometimes the most dangerous predator was the one that refused to die. ND.